do a mic check. Can you guys hear me? If you guys can hear me, do me a favor and oh, I think I need to do this. Looks like we got some folks watching us. Let's get my chat going first of all. You would think by now that I'll be have this down pat. Doesn't happen all the time. Let's cut the music, guys. Let's cut the music. Let me get a one. Oh, we got Devo in the house. He says he can hear us. I appreciate you joining us, Devo. This is my first time seeing you here, man. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. This is our Saturday morning coffee talk, guys. I gotta get my other chat going as well too. So just give me a quick second, guys, and then we'll get started on this show. This is gonna be a fun one today for you guys. We're going to have some fun this morning to get your day started. That's what we're going to do. Oh, here we go. There we go. Get that chat going as well, too. Devo's in the house. Professor Black Ops is in the house. My brother, he's in the house as well. Let's do this. Let me get my chats going on. Let me throw them up there on the screen. I got a lot going on this morning. But we're going to work through this one. And we're going to get you guys going. We got Devo in the house. Devo Foster is in the house right here. We got our brother, Professor Black Ops, who's in the house. Look at that. He got the one in the chat saying that he can actually hear me, guys. Welcome to this Saturday morning chat, guys. Welcome to this Saturday morning chat. We got a good show for you guys this morning. It's going to be a fun one. And here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. Okay. We're going to have a call-in show. We're going to do this one different today. We're going to have a call-in show. We're going to talk about 3 different topics first. We're going to hit on 3 different topics, and then we're going to have a call-in show, and you guys are going to get the opportunity to call into the show and give your input on any of the 3 topics that we're going to be talking about this morning in this Saturday morning coffee talk, guys. Oh, it's been a good week, but a long week. I'm going to tell you something like this, guys. Being a married man and not having your wife and your kids around, man, you get bored, man. There's not much for you to do. Don't get me wrong. I was very productive this week. I was amazingly productive this week. I got a lot of stuff done, and I had a long week. One, I want to tell you guys and give you guys a quick update on something. My gym progress, I've been in the gym every single day this week. Every single day this week, lifting. Not as much cardio as I want, but I just been getting back into the swing of things from the lifting perspective. And guys, I love to lift. I love to lift. Now, my mindset on lifting is completely different than what it was before. My mindset on lifting now is on getting my reps in, nothing heavy, nothing extremely heavy, and doing no more than 3 to 4 sets of each exercise and then moving on. And that's it. Right. So I don't leave the gym feeling physically exhausted, waking up the next morning feeling like as sore as you know what. Right. That's not how I lift anymore. And that's not how I'm going to lift anymore. My whole point of getting back into the gym and lifting again is to bring some more firmness to the muscles, to bring some more volume to the muscles, to keep them lean and keep them growing. So it's been a good week with that. I've been feeling good with it as well, too. But let me do something. Let's do some housekeeping first, guys. Shout out to the Patreon members. We are growing the Patreon, guys. We have a good number of Patreon members that subscribed this week, and I appreciate you all. Thank you so much, Noah. Thank you so much, Jabron. Thank you so much, Nathaniel. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you so much, Tangeray Gin and Tonic. Guys, I appreciate you. I sent a message to you all this morning in the Discord so that you can actually join the Discord and we can actually continue to grow this thing. Guys, I have some new equipment. I bought some new equipment. That's another thing. When your wife and kids aren't home, you got to find things to do with your time. So a lot of my time, if it's not on content creation, on work and coaching and the business and so forth, I want to make sure that I'm able to give back to you all as well. And another way that I'm going to be able to do that is by doing some personal vlogs. I think you guys probably saw the video that I did in the car. I thought that video was a raw, authentic video, and I'm going to do more videos like that, but I'm going to do them in more of a vlog style where I can actually talk about my experiences and share my experiences of climbing the corporate ladder, life, marriage, and all this other stuff. And that's going to go exclusive to our Patreon members though. So I bought a DJI Pocket 2 to begin filming, and I'm gonna start my filming journey today. I gotta go to Best Buy after this, after I leave the gym, because I haven't gone to the gym yet this morning, to pick up 2 memory sticks, and then I'll start my vlogging journey to share that content on our Patreon, guys. So you're gonna be able to get the intimate Antoine in Patreon, guys. So just wanted to throw that out there. But guys, we got some good subjects on here. Let's see who's all in the house. Let me go back over to my chat over here. We got Dr. Dix in the house as well too. Good morning, Dr. Dix. How are you, brother? We appreciate you joining us. Who else we got in the house as well, man? We got, guys, do me a favor. Leave your city and state where you guys are coming in from. I want to hear where you guys are coming in from this early Saturday morning. A lot of you guys are just waking up just like I am. And, I want to get our day started off. Dr. Dix says, I'm good living life, man. I appreciate you, Dr. Dix, for joining us this morning. You know, PBO, he's from the lovely city of Indianapolis, the Midwest. It's probably getting cold up there right now, man. You're probably in a sweatshirt too, Professor Blockops. You're probably in a sweatshirt too. And Dr. Dix, you're in South Carolina, so I already know where you're from. And you're probably still in the t-shirt because it's warm. Linrad said he's coming in from Philly. Dr. Dix said he's coming in from Williamston, South Carolina, straight country dirt trees. We got Devo. Devo is actually in Indianapolis too, Professor Block Ops, man. Devo is in Indianapolis as well, man. Look at that, man. We got the folks in the Midwest, man. The Colts fans, the Andrew Luck fans. Those guys aren't pretty good though, man. Those guys aren't good. But guys, Let's kick this thing off, man. We're gonna kick this thing off, guys. Let me jump over to my my screen here. Let me get this one off the screen first of all, and then let me go over here. Let's go over here, guys. Be ready to call in. We got new TikTok challenges that's being brought up right now. Guys, you already know we always talk about management information systems and STEM degrees, computer science. Professor Black Ops is a computer science major. Dr. Dix is a computer science major. I'm a management information systems major and so forth, right? And we all have advanced degrees and stuff like that, right? And, you know, why we always talk about these majors is because a lot of the times it allows for us to prevent from getting jobs that we really don't want. And one of the jobs that are very critical that we need in our communities, in the United States is teachers, right? And teachers typically, a lot of them that I know, although they are very valuable, they graduate with degrees that are somewhat useless, right? And those degrees are things like, you know, liberal arts degrees and things like that, right? So they think they're going to come out of college to get a nice little job doing something in their little field, anthropology and all this other stuff, and they end up having to go into teaching. And you guys already know, since the pandemic has happened, teaching has been absolutely terrible, right? Even having to going back to school, getting COVID, and or not going back to school and having to deal with people's kids online and all this other stuff, right? The chaos that's in the school systems these days is pretty brutal. Well, guess what, guys? Now there are, you know, things being done to teachers that are pretty brutal as well. There's what you call TikTok challenges out there where you have people who are being influenced by others, right? You saw it on Facebook with the milk crate challenge, all that garbage that you actually see, people spending a whole bunch of their time doing stuff to get clout and end up getting hurt and getting nothing out of it when they could be spending a lot of their time doing coding or learning how to improve their skills or improve their soft skills or networking with people or reading online about trends or reading online about investing. They're doing stupid stuff to I guess get on video and to gain some sort of clout and to earn some sort of clout, right? Oh, well, you know what? It's pretty cool if you've beat the milk crate challenge, says nobody, right? But you also now have high schoolers and middle schoolers who are also being influenced on TikTok by challenges that's going on. And the latest and greatest one for October that I just came across because I saw it hit my news on the Insider, and I this is one of the news sources that I actually read quite often because it actually has some pretty good stuff, guys. It's called the Slap a Teacher, the Slap a Teacher Challenge. Guys, just imagine you spending a whole bunch of money in college, right, to get a degree. And you think you're going to be some sort of teacher, right? Let's just say, you know, an English teacher and so forth. And you're making $40,000 a year and you have to deal with all these kids who come from parents who don't do a good job at parenting, which allows for them to be influenced by others in their communities. And you end up, you know, being a good teacher, and obviously and then you become a victim to being slapped because people want to see it on social media. It's garbage. It's garbage. That's what's going on today. You have kids that are misbehaving because of they're being influenced by other people. They're being influenced by their friends, their peers, what they see on their phones. And then they're going out there into the public doing this most stupidest stuff. And as a teacher who is just looking to get paid, to build wealth for themselves, to educate the community, you are a victim to this. It's crap. It's absolutely crap. And this is what's going on today. And here's something that I want to talk to you guys about. The people who are doing this sort of stuff, who are being influenced by this stuff, are the people who become adults that still have this same sort of mentality. Right? And I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm going to get personal on something right here. So right now, I have two tenants who are ladies who are single ladies. They are dealing with each other. One lives on the top floor of my duplex and the other one lives on the bottom floor. The one on the bottom floor is about 45 years old. She's a grandma and so forth, has 5 daughters. The one on the top floor is younger. She's in her 20s and she has a son. Neither one of them are married. But they've been battling with each other, saying that each other are a nuisance and stuff like that, right? And just the interactions that's going on between these two, cops being called and stuff like that for little small disturbances where cops come over and there's actually nothing going on. It's the stuff that, you know, these people who are currently being influenced end up turning into, having this sort of misbehavior, having this sort of behavior where they contact their landlord or the person who owns or the property manager, right, with a tone that they can't really understand how to communicate the correct way and express themselves. And they call the cops, not understanding that hearing a chair move downstairs is not a disturbance, right? Whether it's 10 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock in the morning, that's not a disturbance. These are the type of people that really turn out to be really terrible citizens later on in life that we end up having to deal with, and taxpayers' money is being paid, having to deal with, you know, people like this. These are the same type of people. And as a parent, guys, as a parent, now I must say this because I'm a parent and, you know, I really do. I'm really in line with what's goes on with my kids because my wife is, you know, my right hand, guys, as I talk to you guys about. It's very important to have somebody who, you know, is responsible for your kids' development, understanding what's going on and so forth. And what you end up seeing is a lot of these kids that are in or misbehaving like this are coming from broken homes. They're coming from broken homes, guys. And they don't have the ability to go into other things or even be exposed to other things like coding or piano lessons and things like that. It's pretty terrible. It's absolutely pretty terrible. But what I wanted to do here is let's go through this article really quick. to kind of talk about what's going on. Um, and this is a big thing. This is a big thing that's going on right now. And one lady, from my understanding, has already been arrested. A high schooler who, from my understanding, put hands on a 64-year-old lady, and she ended up getting arrested, which she should rightfully so. And guess what? Her life is going to be pretty much screwed for the rest of her life, guys. These decisions are going to impact your future later on, because now you're going to have a record. You may end up wanting to change that situation, but as you go back into, internet records, you can find out that you were an idiot at one point in time, or your kid was an idiot at one point in time. So it's important, guys, to make sure that we are, as parents, we're being responsible parents and making sure that we don't have kids doing this sort of stuff and being influenced by, one, social media, two, by the people that they hang out with. We always talk about, right, your net worth is your net worth. Well, that starts very early as well, too. The people who are clowning like this are the same people that will get you in trouble. And Dr. Dix is one of the people that talks about this all the time. He's a person that I want to hear from this morning, too, when I open the live call up, guys. And let me reiterate how the show is going to be today, guys. I'm going to hit on 3 subjects. I'm going to hit on 3 subjects this morning. This is one of them. And then I'm going to open it up for a live call-in for you guys to call in to give your feedback on the 3 topics at hand. One is TikTok challenges and what's going on, and the Slap a Teacher challenge. The second one is going to be on Google Cloud. And the third one is going to be on 5 traits of LinkedIn. And these 5 traits can be something that we live by in our daily lives as well, too. But we're going through the TikTok challenge right now, too, guys. But guys, there's warnings that are out there. Cops are making sure that teachers are being notified, because there's a Slap a Teacher challenge going on that's circulating on all social media networks and platforms, notably on Facebook. Now, TikTok is trying to say that this isn't a TikTok type of a thing. This is a Facebook type of a thing. And I would completely probably agree with that, because Facebook is pretty garbage, to be honest with you. You're not using it for keeping up with your friends and your family, or if you're not doing it for advertising, then it's pretty garbage. But let me digress. The list circulated in the wake of Devious Licks challenge. There was a lick challenge that was going on too. You guys remember the pod licking one, or the pod eating one that was going on at one point in time too. These are the same people that can't get jobs now because their minds are messed up. Oh gosh. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. People are being influenced by the wrong people, and it is absolutely terrible. So let me just hit on this part of the article. The October TikTok trend would be a Slap a Teacher challenge, or in some interactions, smack a staff member. And it began to circulate on Facebook, disseminated by police departments and local news outlets and pages affiliated with schools. Forbes reported on Monday that Connecticut Attorney General William Tong called TikTok leadership to meet with them and so forth, just to talk about how the content is actually being dangerous and how it's circulating around. And of course, you have stupid people out there who would do stupid things. So, guys, TikTok, as I mentioned, is talking about how people are learning about this challenge from other sources. And here's the thing, right? When something like this happens, and you know how crazy people can get, when something like this happens, right? And it begins to circulate on social media, you want to stop it as fast as possible. But once it starts and you have 33,000 people, as the article says, we're circulating and becoming a part of that actual page and so forth, you know that the wildfire is actually starting to go. And this is the month of October, and you're already starting to see people being arrested for that. There's been quite a bit of people that's been arrested already. So, of course, TikTok saying that they want to redirect any sort of Slap a Teacher type of a content. And this is an IT piece of it, guys. When you have platforms like that, as a company, you have to be very responsible. You have people like Facebook that gives, people who do violent things a platform to have a freedom of speech. And that's just what happens, and I don't know if Facebook really cares about it, because at the end of the day, for them, it's about making a profit. No matter how much or how detrimental it is to the, the society as a whole, they are allowed to just do that because it's a money-making machine. And of course, they're being attacked and so forth and things like that. But that's just what ends up happening, right? And then, so you have teachers who are talking about it as well too, and they're concerned. They are very, very concerned about, potentially being smacked in school. And I can tell you this, I have friends who are teachers, and they said this year, Antoine, this is probably one of the worst years that we've seen because of the behaviors. You got to think about it, guys. What just happened most recently? We had a full school year of kids being in and out of school, the majority of them being out of school. Now you're bringing them back to school and they don't know how to behave. So you already know this is like lighting gas on the fire already. Teachers are already burnt out within the first half of the semester or first half of the quarter already, or first half of the school year, if not even the first half yet, just within a couple months. They're burnt out. They're like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And that's why we also have a shortage in the number of teachers that are out there as well too. So guys, it's pretty terrible. It is absolutely pretty terrible, guys. So that's what I wanted to talk about. And I want you guys to, when we get it, when I open it up, I want you guys to call in, give your take on this as well too, because I do want to hear from you guys as well. And what have you been hearing? What would you do if you were what would you do if you were a parent and your kids just went to school and looked at a video on their phone and smacked the teacher? What would you do? I'm laughing at it right now, but it isn't funny. It isn't funny, guys. I don't think it's funny at all. I'm just laughing because I'm making light of it, because being a teacher sucks. It's hard. You have to deal with terrible children because of terrible parents, and now you're at risk of getting smacked. That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. Let me jump over to the chats, guys. You got Africa Tech coming in from Johannesburg. Professor Blackhouse. I'm a professor in real. I wish I'm Professor Blackhouse, man. Just imagine you're in class. Just imagine you're in a classroom one day, right? And you're teaching, and you're talking about red team, blue team, purple team. And somebody just gets up and lay hands on you, man. Professor Blackout said he's fighting. He's going to fight. NC Worker says, good morning, everyone. Engineering Cannabis say, a good understanding of controlling one's emotion is key to professional and everyday life. Absolutely, Engineering Cannabis. It's important, right? You start off young. And these are skills that your parents should be teaching you inside the house. These are things that you should be learning early on in your life, not to be influenced by bad people and so forth, right? And don't get me wrong, man, we've all been influenced by the wrong things here and there, but now it's pretty much, it's inescapable, right? At one point in time, you didn't have all the social media content you were on, just about 24 hours a day. At least you got a chance to get away from it. That's how I grew up. I had a chance to get away from it. So if there was something going on at school, I had at least 16 hours to get away from it. Well, now, today, that's not the case. That is absolutely not the case. What happens now is you can go to school, be there for a complete 8 hours of the day, and all of a sudden, you have access to social media while you're in school. And if something goes on that, and you get caught up in a video and it goes viral, you have to live with that for the next, 24, 48 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in a month. And people are always going to remember that. So guys, it's pretty terrible. Mr. Nix is in the house. Good morning to the room. I appreciate you coming in, Mr. Nix. Engineering Canada says Google Cloud is trying to be on the same footing as AWS by having more people trained on the platform. Yes, Engineering Canada, we're going to get to that, brother. We are absolutely going to get it. Mr. Nix, thank you so much for the super chat. Let me put you on the screen, my man. I appreciate you for the super chat, Mr. Nix. You are absolutely fantastic and gracious, man. I appreciate that, sir. Let me get you up here. Mr. Nix is in the house, and Mr. Nix says, I have to donate for this specific reason. Your video from 80K, 500K in a corporate America has exponential value, and people typically pay for such high value information, including me. I am going to study deeply this information. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you took to that video, Mr. Nix. And these are the type of videos that I'm going to be sending or creating even more of to Mr. Nix. And this is going to be really types of videos that I'm going to be dropping on our Patreon. So become a Patreon member. And guys, do me a favor. Let's do some housekeeping. My wife just texted me and said, we got to get the likes up, guys. Get the likes up. Go ahead and hit the like button, guys, to support this sort of content, right? At the end of the day, we are one of those channels where we try to provide inspiration and influence and education, but we also like to have fun as well too, right? And a lot of times these sorts of channels do not get the viewership, and you giving it a like is, free admission, and also you helping us with the YouTube algorithm so that our videos and our content could get pushed to more different people and we can continue to grow the channel. So I really appreciate you guys liking the video. We got Tyrese in the house as well too, man. We got Ashton in the house as well. Good morning to the chat and Mr. Black Heights. I appreciate you, Ashton. Ashton was with us the other day, man, when we did the live stream at the winery, I believe. But let's move on to the next topic at hand, guys. And then, as I mentioned, we're going to do a live stream or a call in. So I want you guys to come in and to when you guys come in, I want you guys to give your advice on the subject at hand as well too. So next topic here, and this is something that Engineering Cannabis says, because Engineering Cannabis is in tune with what's going on. And give me a second, guys. I'm going to mute myself because I'm starting to get some sinus right now, man. And I got to make sure, I've been in the gym and stuff like that, and I'm hitting my vitamins, but I got to make sure that I got to stay away from that COVID. So let me do a quick second. I'm going to put you guys on mute so I can actually blow my nose. 1 second, guys. All right, I'm back. Easy enough. Easy enough. All right. So Google Cloud. Obviously, you guys know, being in the tech world, that Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure are the largest cloud providers that exist out there, right? At least in the US. I think Alibaba and whoever else is in China, but I think AWS is probably the largest in the actual world. But I think Microsoft Azure is on a fast pace to catch them. So you have Google, who has a cloud as well too. One of the other largest clouds that I think they come in third or fourth or fifth or something like that down the line, where they're trying to play catch up at this point in time. So guess what they're doing, guys? Guess what they're doing? They produced a plan or created a plan that is responsible or going to help train 40 million people to become cloud experts on Google Cloud, right? Addressing the major concerns of its partners, also being able to grow the cloud platform, guys. So we always talk about tech all the time. And one of the careers that you guys can get into is becoming a cloud architect. And let me just, before I get into the article, I want to give you guys, a reason why I thought this was important. Check out the salary of a Google Cloud architect. Check out a salary of a Google Cloud architect. You know what that salary is? An average base salary for a Google Cloud architect is $161,000 a year. Damn! The average salary for a Google Cloud architect is $161,000 a year. Damn! And I know, I said, making $80,000 last week was chump change. But again, when you're making $161,000 a year and you come from making $81,000 a year, you're going to say that $80,000 is chump change, right? Because you're no longer there. You're no longer there. And not only that, you get additional pay and stuff like that to where your salary is somewhere north of or close to the $200,000 a year. That's with bonuses and whatever else they give you. So guys, this is a reason why I wanted to talk about this article today. So Google's playing catch up. They're playing catch up, right? Let me get to the meat of it. Google Cloud set out a new goal on Thursday of training over 40 million people in skills for its cloud, addressing a skills shortage that some of Google Cloud's top partners say is slowing down their own business and the platform itself. So we already know that there's a talent shortage. We already know that there's people who don't have the skills, can't find jobs, don't have soft skills, don't have people skills, can't relate for anybody worth a darn, right? People who are doing TikTok challenges and want to smack teachers. There's a whole bunch of crazies out here, guys. But if you don't want to be a crazy like the people who are in this chat, I know you guys aren't crazy. You laugh at the crazies, but you're not crazy. I know who follows me, and the people in this chat definitely aren't the people who are crazy. But the reason why you're here is because you want to learn something. And if you're in a tech field, this is an opportunity for you to learn something about tech, because we talk about tech on this channel and jobs and how to get into these spaces. And we have people who are in a chat right now that has the knowledge and have done this stuff. Cybersecurity, cloud, engineering, software engineering, web developing, all this sort of stuff, right? We have people in the chat right now that are in these spaces. But Google set out a new goal to train over 40 million people. And the announcement comes amongst a talent shortage that's impacting all major cloud platforms. So there literally aren't enough people certified in the skills that are required to operate and maintain IT infrastructure provided by cloud platforms like Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, and Amazon Web Services. Guys, these are job opportunities. You may be a person who is in college right now. If you have an opportunity to go get a Google Cloud certification, you should be looking at that. If you have any additional time, we always talking about, grinding. We always talking about putting in the work. Well, if you're in college and you have, let's just say 15 hours a semester and you have to study, you still have a bit more flexibility within your work life because you're not a professional yet. I mean, on average, I probably work about 70 hours a week with my corporate job, training, plus any other stuff, content creation. It's probably actually more than that. It's probably absolutely more than that. As a college student, you're not doing half of that. It's just not, you're not. I already know you're not. But if you are in college and you are at that point right now where you're looking for something to do to gain more skills, one of the ways that you can do that is to become or start your certification on Google Cloud. It's a fantastic area to go in, and they need people for this. And it's not just Google Cloud. I'm focusing this because this article is on Google Cloud, but there's a shortage in just about all cloud performers and cloud companies. Look what it said. There literally aren't enough people certified in the skills that are required to operate and maintain IT infrastructure by cloud platforms like Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Services. So for Google, this is about winning the trust of our customers and our partners. And we believe that skills should never be a barrier to cloud adoption. So they set out to make sure that people are trained, and they created a training program. And basically what it's going to do is it will see Google Cloud launch a site that has over 700 programs to earn certifications in skills like AI, which is the future, machine learning, which is the future, data analytics, which is the future, cybersecurity, Professor Blackouts and Brother Gabe, application development. This is where I started my career as a software engineer, and cloud architecture. And people who sign up early can also receive a free month of access to the program. It is also partnering with Coursera, right, to support Google Cloud content on its site. Guys, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for you to get to a high six-figure salary and to climb the ladder. You have to get into the jobs. You have to gain the skills. You have to be knowledgeable. You have to practice the soft skills. You have to network. You have to make your bosses look good. You have to make your leaders look good. You have to ask for more. And you're going to get up to $500,000 like I talked about in that video. But you have to start somewhere. And the way that you start is to take advantage of opportunities that are available to you. So these cloud skills can pay well too. The two IT certifications that qualify holders for the highest paying jobs are from Google Cloud, according to Google Knowledge. As the pandemic drives cloud adoption to new heights, some Google Cloud partners who resell the Tech Titans cloud platform to their own clients simply don't have enough manpower to keep up. That in turn presents a threat to Google Cloud's big growth push against the market-leading AWS and Microsoft. And there's a concern about that, right? Because there's a talent shortage. But Google, since they want to grow in this space, they're going to be paying their people even more money than what you would get from a Microsoft cloud positions or from AWS cloud positions and roles as well too. So guys, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity. And what they're also doing is people who are certified in Microsoft Azure and AWS, they're going to be taking advantage of this as well too, because guess what? Guys, if you are a cloud architect on, let's just say AWS, you can learn Google Cloud skills. And you may be having or making a salary of 100,000 plus on the AWS side, having a good job. But let's just say this, you're only working half the time because you're so good, right? You're only working 40 hours, right? If you can gain another job, making 150 hours, right? $150,000, guys, that's just doubling your income. And that's and here's the thing, guys. So when you become so good at what you can do, and now with the opportunities of remote work, you don't have to be in the office. You can work from just about anywhere. You can have 2 or 3 jobs. You can have 2 jobs and a side hustle. You can have 1 job and a side hustle. That's how Black Heights started. It started off as me having 1 corporate job and a side hustle, which was coaching. And it wasn't, it turned into a larger company, right? And that's what it turned into. But these are opportunities that you have, guys, to completely grow your income. Grow your income to high 300s. By being somebody who's really good in a specific area, taking advantage of opportunities like this, and then growing your salary. You can have 2 or 3 jobs. You can become, like I mentioned, AWS certified. Now you want to get Google certified and make even more money. Or you can say, you know what, I'm done with AWS. I want to go on the Google side to make more money. Whatever way you want to do it, there's multiple opportunities that exist out there. Let me jump over to the chat, guys. Let me jump over to the chat to get your guys' feedback here. Mr. Nick says, let me jump over here. So Josh Kima says, good morning, y'all. Mr. Nix, I can't join the Patreon. I don't see the link. Mr. Nix, the Patreon is absolutely in. Look at the video that I dropped on yesterday. You'll be able to see the Patreon inside that video description. Typically is in just about every single one of the video descriptions. You're not going to find it on this one yet. It will be in the description after this video is published. That's how I typically do it. But if you look at any of the prior videos that we have, you can join the Patreon by clicking on the Patreon button on there. Otherwise, you can just jump on the Patreon site. And from there, what you can do is you just look up Black Heights and you'll be able to join the Patreon there. Let's see who was in here. Vince, I am. Good afternoon. New subscriber here from the UK. I appreciate you, Vince. Thank you so much. First live here. I appreciate you for joining in. Tyrese said, it's great money in the cloud. Tyrese, that's the direction I'm taking with cloud security. Absolutely. Stylish Heart says, good morning. Stylish Heart says, wow, yes. Mr. Nick says, or Teresa Wade said, Mr. Nick, here's a Patreon link. Oh, thank you so much, babe. I really appreciate you. You are absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for being part of the chat this morning. I know my wife, guys, again, she's gone for 2 weeks. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do with myself. But she's in the chat, and I thank you so much, babe, for supporting me. Mr. Nix, another super chat. Let's bring him up on the screen, guys. Let's bring Mr. Nix up on the screen with another super chat, man. I appreciate you again, sir. Thank you so much. Mr. Nix says this. Let me get over to it. Let me get over to him. I got to find him. I got to find it in this application. And I may have, hopefully, I did not lose you, sir. Nope. There you go. Let's jump back over here. There we go. That's a true thing about this application is I can find it and do a search for it as well. Mr. Nick says, I am a Microsoft Azure engineer and architect hybrid. Those numbers are the base, and heaven forbid you get on these pre-sales side and get the percentage of completed projects, stock options, and more. Ooh, Mr. Nix is giving you guys a game right here, guys. He says those are the base numbers. Those are the base numbers. So you're talking about $160,000 a year. That's base numbers. That's right. That is absolutely right. Mr. Nix probably making, I believe he said in one of the other chats, close to $500,000 a year himself. That's money, guys. And you can see it from guys like us that it's really easy to make once you become very good at something. And if you're working for a good company and you have good soft skills, right? That's who you are. That's how you make the money. That's just what it is, guys. So it's out there. It's possible. It's very much possible that, we have people like Mr. Nix, like myself, Professor Black Ops, Gabe, making high 6-figure salaries, guys. High 6-figure salaries, and it can do it relatively easy. And companies are coming at us all the time. I appreciate you for sharing that story too, Mr. Nix. Now let me jump back over here to the chat. So, Stylish Heart says, how long is training for that certificate? How much is the cost? You're going to have to go and check that out on the site, Stylish Heart. But I'm sure it has it on there. From my understanding, a lot of these certifications are about 6 months. A lot of them are shorter than that as well, too, right? And a lot of them are as you can get it done. So self-paced, self-taught, right? So it's really up to you a lot of the times that I've seen. So Mr. Nick says, this cloud architecture search and self-study in labs can all be done for less than total than the bigger 2020 stimulus check. Ooh, so he's basically telling you guys that you can pretty much get this done for less than $2,000 from my understanding. Guys, invest in yourself. Learn new skills. Invest in yourself. I'm like, for me to get a coaching certification I've been coaching for quite some time, helping people and so forth, but I wanted to make sure that I had the credentials behind it to figure out a format that works for me and so forth. Cost me $9,000. I'm taking another coaching certification in the next, 6 months or so. That's going to cost me $8,000. Invest in yourself. And this is going to allow for me to give more back to you all and give you guys strength assessments and things like that. Invest in yourself, guys. Invest the dollars into yourself so that you can make more money for yourself and you can help other people. $2,000, less than that, to get a Google certification that you can actually use to make high $100,000 or more. As Mr. Nick said, that's a base. That's just a base, guys. Jabron says, hey, sir, Professor Black Ops, what's up in the chat? My brother Jabron's in the house. Thank you so much, sir, for being a patron. I was just talking about you earlier as well, too. I appreciate you, Jabron. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And I want you guys to call in, too, to give your feedback on a lot of this stuff. So Vince I Am says, what about the imminent shutting down of all systems? I'm not sure about that, Vince, but the Great Reset is no joke. Oh, hey, man, I'm not sure. And I do have to take shots to work for them. Yeah. Oh, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, check this out. I'm not the person to say you should or you shouldn't. But if it's going to impact your money, you need to make the best decision for yourself. Don't use that as an excuse to not get your money. At the end of the day, it's about getting your money to grow yourself, to grow your family, to build wealth for yourself. Take that money to invest in real estate. Take that money to invest in stocks and so forth. If you're going to allow not getting the jab or allow for, you're not going to take opportunities that's going to be in your best interest because you don't want to take the jab, that's a personal issue with you. That's a personal issue with you. And I get it for some people if they don't want to do that. But that's not how I go about my life. I have to make the best decisions for me and my family. And I took the jab, months ago. I think I had mine in May, double vaccinated. So let's continue on. Mr. Nick says, Vince, I am, stop it. Most of these jobs are 100% remote. Yes, and that's another thing as well, too. A lot of these jobs are remote. And that's what this article talks about as well, too, guys. So if you look here, the talent war is a barrier for growth, even as the cloud demand leads partners like SADA systems to ambitious hiring goal to double its headcount over the next 18 months. There's also different tactics that's going to be on. But here's the thing. It does say this in this article, and I know I'm talking fast, but it talks about, here it is. Still, the current remote work boom means that consultants don't need to be on site with their customers. And here's the thing. The Google Cloud certified engineers work wherever they may live. You can become that. You can find and hire Google Cloud engineers wherever they may live. Guys, you can literally be working in the United States for a company and also have a job working for a company in Singapore. Guys, you can do that with remote work. And if you choose not to take the job because you don't want to take the job, there's still opportunities for you. It's not like tech companies are saying you have to be in the office, you have to take the job. It's up to you. But there are opportunities out there. Don't limit your opportunities because you don't want to take the job. If you have to take the job, take the job. It is what it is. That's how I see it. I see things black and white, though. And a lot of people don't always agree with me, but it is what it is. So let's continue on. So let's go down here. Professor Blackout says, Jabron Jones, I'm always getting, oh, absolutely. Mr. Nick says, disclaimer, I'm currently working in Microsoft Cloud Architect capacity. Awesome. NC Worker, how does one apply for this? Good morning from Dallas. Francis, Francis is in the house. I appreciate you for joining us, Francis. Long time no see. Thank you so much for joining us again. Great information as a freshman in college. Francis is a freshman in college. Francis is a freshman in college. And guys, there is a site out there. And here's the thing. I'll jump over to it right now. Let me see if I can get over to it. Google Cloud or Google certifications. Let's do that. Google Cloud certifications. I can't even type this one. Look at that. Okay. Google Cloud certifications is Coursera. So there's a site out here where they talk about Google Cloud certifications, and you can get started here. This is where you can get started. You can get started for free. So this is the site that you actually want to go here and read as much information. I'm not going to go through all of this at this point in time, but the question was asked is, where can you start? Well, a place that you can start, just like I just did, was Google Cloud certifications. Google is your best friend. Google's the internet is resources, the most reliable resource that exists out there. Click Google, read through this page, find out what it takes for you to get certified in these positions. They have information that exists out there, and they're also going to point you into the right direction as well. And the cool thing about this, guys, is this. There are people who have gone this route already. They're on YouTube. So if you have an interest in Google Cloud certifications, guys, and you want to get it from people who look like you or who don't look like you, who's gone through this process, look on YouTube. Look on Google Cloud certification on YouTube and start watching that content instead of the content that is absolutely useless. The TikTok challenge content, right? You can get this information by just being exposed to it, like I'm exposing you to it from this article. Right? You can make $160-something thousand a year. You can be a college student, get your certifications. When you come out of college, you're already making $100-something plus thousand a year. Get the certifications. Get the certifications. Learn the process to get the certification. Look for other people on YouTube who's gone down this path to get these sort of certifications. It's important, guys. It's very, very important. Okay, let me jump back over here to the chats real fast. Let me make my face bigger first. And then what I'll do is I have one more topic that I want to discuss, and then I'm gonna let you guys come on, and I want for you guys to give me what you guys are thinking. Give me what you guys are thinking. I want to hear from you guys. So let me do this first. Let me make sure my speakers and all this other stuff is good, and that my microphone and all that stuff is good before I even get to that point. And this is going to be for my my Zoom. Jump back over to the chats. Ingrid is coming in from Orlando. How are you doing, Miss Ingrid? Thank you so much. Vince, I am. Mr. Nix, you need to stop being over Hey, looks like some battles going on in the chat, man. Guys, conduct yourself like professionals, guys. Conduct yourself like professionals. Let's not, I'm going to say it like this. Mr. Nix is a person who doesn't use, or he doesn't want to see excuses. I'm a type of person, Vince, that we don't like to see excuses. Anybody who think that comes on this channel, there's no excuses. There's content that exists out there. There are people who are going to give you the game, and there are people who are going to give you lies, and people on this channel and the people that I surround myself with are going to give you the game, and they're giving you the game for free. And at the end of the day, we don't like excuses because excuses are just that. They're just excuses for not being able to move forward. And it's basically a fear, living out of fear. So that's where Mr. Nix is coming from, my man. But let me continue on. Javon said, Mr. Nix, I appreciate the insight, sir. Mr. Nix says, thank you, Teresa Wade, much profitable. Thank you, Ms. Wade, I appreciate you as well. Ms. Vince says, you guys conduct yourselves like gents in the chat, man. That's what we need to do. Let's do that. Okay, last article, guys, before we get a call in. I love it. We're having some fun this Saturday morning. I hope you guys get the coffee ready. I hope you guys are drinking your coffee. I'm not fully awake yet, but I'm almost there. One more article, guys. One more. Because this is important. Here's another one. This is going to be another important one, guys. Another important one, and the reason why I say it's important is because of what we talked about prior. So LinkedIn. our favorite professional networking platform. You guys know about LinkedIn. If you're not using LinkedIn, you need to wake up. If you're not using LinkedIn and leveraging LinkedIn, you need to wake up. I'm just gonna say it like that. Because if you're not using LinkedIn and you're trying to find a job, you're probably not finding a job and you are, angry, hitting the desk, not enjoying yourself. You probably need to end up going to therapy because you're frustrated and you need somebody to talk to. But guys, you need to make sure that you are using LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is a powerful, powerful resource. And LinkedIn currently is hiring for over 1,000 jobs right now. And a recruiter, because if you want to work to LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a fantastic company. You guys know that Microsoft bought them, and they basically went from a professional network to a content creator, and they are growing. And they are growing faster than a lot of other social media platforms that exist out there. And people like Kev Tech IT Support, our brother, uses it on a daily basis. People like Professor Black Ops, people like Mr. Nix, people like Jabron. Jabron uses it every single day as well too. I see him actively on LinkedIn. And there's others that I'm tied into, Michael Ojo, Houston Phenom. You got other folks that are using it as well too. But they're hiring for over 1,000 jobs right now. And a recruiter is giving us the game on some of the values that you need to make sure you display if you want to work for a company like LinkedIn. And the reason why I wanted to bring this to you guys is this. Not only is it an opportunity to work for a fantastic company that's built under Microsoft, who is another fantastic company that's under fantastic leadership, Satya Nadella, the Microsoft CEO, actually graduates from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, the same school that I graduated from as well too. So I'm a big fan of him, not just from the school context, but just from the fact that how he was able to turn Microsoft around from under the leadership of Steve Ballmer, and how it is a beast today, how its stock continues to grow and so forth. But a recruiter wants to give us game on traits and soft skills and how you should really demonstrate that you are a person that is worthy of working for LinkedIn. And I think these are just personal traits that I have for myself that just really resonated with me when I read this article. So one of the first things that they look for if you want to work for a company like LinkedIn is you demonstrating that you have the ability to look into transformation. What does transformation mean by in LinkedIn's mind? Because it means pretty much the same thing to me as well too. It's one of their pillars. And there's three components of transformation that they talk about. Transformation of the self, transformation of the company, and transformation of the world. And one way that candidates can demonstrate their commitment to transformation of self is by expressing interest into professional development. Guys, you watching this channel, you watching the Black Heights channel is you showing that you are in line with transforming yourself, getting information that's going to help you grow. That's transformation of the self. That is absolutely transformation of the self. Transformation of the company. What can you do? What can you do to help with the wellness programs and to make sure that you're doing a good job overall for the company? It's about the company at the end of the day. So in order for you to transform yourself, you have to learn and grow. But then you have to be able to teach others inside the company as well. Become a leader, right? Become a leader, become a manager, look for more things to do, work, and work. That's transformation of the company. Bringing value to the company and transformation to the world. Guys, just being a good person. Being a good person where people think that certain people are a certain way and they get a chance to meet you and speak to you, you're completely different than what their stereotypes and biases are, right? That's transformation of the world. And that's something that I always have, made sure that I was a responsible professional in all settings, right? One of the things that I did prior to 2020 was travel a lot, and I was a world traveler. And a lot of the times, right, early on in my career. You hear about all the stereotypes of all these people, and I bought into a lot of that stuff as well too, because, you know, I was reading into that stuff that really didn't exist. And it wasn't until I moved out of the country that I realized that that's just the American stereotypes and you have to buy into that stuff. But the reality of it is not true. It's really how you conduct yourself, how you interact with other people. And you're going to see that the majority of people in the world is pretty good. And the majority of people are going to give you the benefit of the doubt if you are a good person. And one of the things that I always did was make sure that I acknowledge people in conducting myself with a level of professionalism that I will always get good treatment. I don't go places and get treated bad. Every time I go places, I get treated very well. If you don't know, you should probably know. I just was out with Erica Williams. I invited her to the winery that I go to, the Vineyard. And I know the owners, and they would let me rent out the vineyard if I needed to, or any sort of thing that I would need. They're making sure they're taking care of me. Any place that I go, whether it's first time, second time, third time, they're going to understand who Mr. Wade is, right? It's about conducting yourself in a professional way where people want to remember you, but also you treating people to where they like you. They really do like you, to engage with you and so forth. And that's about the transformation piece of it, guys. And I think that's a critical pillar that we all should be adopting in our day-to-day lives as well. Integrity. Here's another one. LinkedIn's second pillar is integrity. When aiming to create economic opportunity for all, candidates cannot cut corners. We don't believe the ends justify the means. She said, we expect all employees to do the right thing. Integrity. Doing the right thing, guys. I don't know if you guys saw, I follow a lot of YouTube content creators and so forth, and this whole video came out yesterday about Glenn and Cameron, right? And I'm not going to go into that, but when I talk about integrity, this is far from integrity. Doing the right thing, guys. Just doing the right thing. No shortcuts, no garbage, no hurting people and all this other stuff, guys. It's not where it's at. No making people feel bad because you're upset. Having integrity, guys. Not taking advantage of the expense system is even in the professional world because you want to write off things that you shouldn't be writing off. You taking trips and you're not doing it for work and things like that. Guys, have integrity. That's another pillar of the LinkedIn's second pillar for them to hire people and what they're looking for if you're going to apply to that position. The next one is collaboration. Being able to work with others. Job seekers should be prepared to share examples of a company's success and how they contributed to that success. We're in a business of building relationships, so it's important to bring this into the workplace. Guys, collaboration is important. That's the only way that you're going to get to a 500K salary. That's the only way you're going to get to a 300K salary, guys. That's the only way. You have to work with others and you have to be good at working with others, but you also have to bring something to the table as well. You can't be a person that just takes something from people. You have to be a person that contributes and talk about your successes. Toot your own horn. There's nothing wrong with tooting your own horn. It's nothing wrong with being confident. Now, there's something in being cocky. There's nothing wrong with being confident. If you know your stuff, you are confident. You are absolutely confident. So guys, collaboration is important. Working with people, working with your leaders, collaborating with your leaders, sharing ideas with the people who are under you, sharing ideas with the people who are above you, being a good person, a person that people want to talk to. And when you call them, they're not dreading your phone call. You have no idea. I talk to a lot of people on a day-to-day basis. I must say, I feel like I say this all the time. I feel like I herd cats because all the time, all I do is call people and say, hey, you're going to get this done. When are you going to get this done? When are you going to get this done? The majority of people answer my phone calls. And you know why they answer my phone calls? Because I treat them well and I give them respect and I make sure that I set the expectations. And not only that, I put them in a position that they can get to shine and I give them the shine and I tell them how wonderful they are. So they are always going to respect Antoine and pick the phone call. And I say, you're the subject matter expert and I say, you're the genius and I make people feel good about themselves. So when in return, when Antoine calls them, they like, Antoine needs something, so I'm going to pick up the phone. Right? That's collaboration. Having a sense of humor. Guys. We're in the tech space and a lot of us are introverts and this was difficult for me as well too. I looked at every single thing I do because I have a lot of quirks and all this other stuff and I didn't like it, right? But at the end of the day, once you become a person that loves yourself, you can just begin to have a sense of humor. And when somebody makes jokes about you, you can begin to have a sense of humor. When you look at yourself doing things that are interesting or weird or quirky, you can have a sense of humor and you can shed light to that sort of stuff. Guys, that is what the LinkedIn pillars are. Having a sense of humor. Don't wait for other people to make you laugh. 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 Talk about the funny things in life about, a teacher getting smacked. I'm not a teacher. And I hope I don't get smacked. And results. At the end of the day, this is what it's about, guys. At the end of the day, this is what it's about. If you go in my LinkedIn, I'm going to just talk about myself right now. You look at my LinkedIn, you look at results, you look at this channel, you look at the results, you see the work, you see the growth. At the end of the day, it's about results. And people are going to hire you based on your results at the end of the day, because you need to have actionable goals and you need to set high expectations for yourself and you need to be a good performer. If you don't have the ability to produce results, and I know this, results aren't going to be what's going to get you to the 500K. Results is going to be what gets you into the door, what gets you into another job, and so forth. The relationships and the collaboration is what's going to get you to the 500K. And results. It's a combination of all of it. But results are very much important, guys. It's very much important. And not only that, going back to my other point, humor. You can't be around executives with just a stiff sense of humor. They laugh all the time. They crack jokes at themselves all the time. If you're in a room and they make a joke about something that you did or something that you said, you can't get upset, right? You can't get upset and want to fight. You can't get upset and just, you go crawl in a corner. You have to make light of it, guys. And that's what you do. And that's how you're going to get yourself to that higher level of salary and so forth as well, too. But results are important. Every job at LinkedIn is unique, and so is our hiring experience, you said. In addition, hard skills, we take a very close look at the people skills, things like communication, teamwork, and leadership to ensure potential employees share our company values. End of the day, guys, these are what the 5 pillars are. And these are the 5 pillars that I believe in wholeheartedly that will get you to a high level salary. A salary above 100K, a salary to continue to grow your salary. Did I say that right? A salary to begin, a salary that a high enough salary where you can continue to climb the ladder and grow your salary. That's what I wanted to say. But guys, those are the 3 topics that I wanted to talk about today. I'm going to do something. I'm going to drop the link into the chat because I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from you guys on the topics that we talked about today. I want to get you guys' feedback. I want to hear what you guys have to say about any of the topics that we touched on, whether it is the smack a teacher, which I don't condone, I think is absolutely terrible, and kids who are raising, or parents who are raising kids like this, should be embarrassed. I'm going to put that in here 3 times. Ashton, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let me put you on the screen, Ashton. Let me put you on the screen. Mr. Wade is all over the place. Give me 1 second, okay? Let's do this. Ashton, I appreciate you for the super chat. Thank you so much for the $10. You are absolutely fantastic. And thank you so much for all your support. I got to get over to the right screen. Ashton James said this. Great coffee talk. Collaborate with people you can learn from. Hoping to see a panel discussion this morning. Fire, ready to rock with you in this chat this morning. I appreciate you. Let's jump over to the chat. Real fast because I want to hear you guys' feedback. And guys, you know how it is. We keep things light. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about it. We got my brother. We got my brother in the house. We got my brother in the house. Give me a second. Professor Blackouts, can you hear me, sir?
I can. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Let me get you on the screen, my man. Hold on for a second.
All right.
Let me get you on the screen, man.
I'm a little upset with you too. We gotta have a conversation.
I know why you upset with me, man.
I'm upset with you. I'm upset with you, brother. I'm gonna have to come see you, man.
Hey, man. Hey, Professor Black Ops, I say this, right? I say this. People are upset with me because I told the truth. Just imagine, Professor Black Ops, when you first came out of college. When you first came out of college, you were making $30,000 a year, man. Look at you now, man. You look at that $30,000 of what? Chump change, right?
Facts, man. I had to get on it before the billions. I was like, don't let Antoine, you better celebrate your 100, man. Only 15% of the men in the United States. You got them thinking they looking outside when they say they make 100,000 now.
I cleared it up, Professor Black Ops. That's why I did that video, because you know what? I did that video because I saw from the Anton Daniels video in the chat. I was like, you know what? Man, maybe my message doesn't resonate with our ladder climbers out here. So I wanted to make sure that I was able to articulate that back to our brothers. And at the end of the day, I started off at $48,000 a year, right? And a lot of our guys are coming out, making more than that and are at 100 grand. And that 100 grand is absolutely fantastic salary. It's a great salary, guys. So I want you guys to remember that. But you have to ask for more, continue to grow, improve your skills. Professor Blackout has been in this game for over 20 years. His salary has, grew tremendous amount. And here's the thing. When you get to a point, you're going to look back at where you are now in your early career. You're going to be like, hey, guys, it's chump change. So that's what I was meaning. So don't take that, guys, as $100,000 was you know how things can be taken out of context. How you doing this morning, my brother?
I'm doing all right. You shortchanged, but I got 30 plus years in the game, man. I'm 53. Those shorts, give me my extra decade, man. Give me my extra decade.
Oh my gosh, man. What you got on the topics at hand, my man? What you got, man?
I got to start. You saw the one I teach in real life at night. I wish MF would. Miss Wade is clearing up the chat, so I got to be on my P's and Q's. Miss Wade, shout out to Miss Wade. She get everybody in line down there. But now I wish MF would. I fight. I wish somebody would try to slap me. Your kid gonna go home crying with a broken arm. Try me if you want.
Oh my gosh, man, that's insane, man. Like, that's actually happening these days, Professor Black Ops, man. Like, what's going on with these kids, man? I know you're a father and so forth, man. Like, if you're, just imagine a couple of years ago, whatever it is, when your kids were in school, like, do you think your kid would even engage in some sort of activity that they did? What would you do, man? I'm laughing at it now.
My son's 30, so you gotta go back about 20 years ago. Paddling, it was just kind of down. My son was in high school when he did something, and the principal called me. My son was screaming in the background, just paddle me, because if my dad losing money, he gonna be upset. I was like, if daddy gotta leave work, somebody getting it. You, the principal, somebody getting it. If daddy leave work and I gotta come, my son was screaming, just paddle me. I told the principal, and he said, well, I don't think we paddle much. I was like, I need to paddle on your desk. Because when I walk in, I'm swinging. Because if you got to call me and I leave work, we going to have a problem. So
discipline's important. Discipline's important.
Yeah. I tell all my grandbabies and all my kids, if you leave your kids with me, Miss Wade got to sign a waiver because I still whooping, man. I just tell people up front, you got to sign a waiver. If Miss Wade don't want the kids to get hit, then she can't live with me. I'm a simple guy, man. I'm old and simple, man. I try to keep it not complicated, man.
Oh my God.
I'm old school.
I got to say this, PBO, like I grew up like that as well, too. My grandmother was that type of person that only got switched by my grandma twice in my life ever. And my mom, maybe less than a handful of times. My father, I think less than a handful of times, because I always saw my brother getting it, my older brother. He was the type of person that really set the example. I was like, nah, I know what not to do. And when it came to school and it came to getting work done, and that's what he always got in trouble for, getting his work done and not doing the work. So that's why I always focused on the books and so forth, because I was always scared that if I was to, not do the right thing in school, that I was going to get it, man. I was going to get it.
Facts, man.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. Now, there's studies out here now, though, that talk about how kids shouldn't be spanked because it actually really hurts their development in their brain development.
I saw that. But you just proved my point. You only need to get hit a couple times. If you smart, you like, yeah, that ain't a good decision. It's not like you beating them. That's if you see grandma get a couple people while you over there, you like, oh no, I ain't doing that. I don't think it's touchable. It helps you. It's a cause and effects. These reactions, these things I do have consequences.
Yes.
Right. So yes. It's real. So people think you just go around beating kids. I tell people another quick story. My son was on a trip. They gave me all the black kids. So this one black boy got smart. He didn't know I went to school with his his father. So I grabbed him by the elbow and I whispered, I said, I'm going to beat your A and I'm going to call your daddy because his nickname was Billy Bang. He goes, oh, you know my dad? Man, all them kids was good. Next field trip, they invited me because they want to keep me get all the bad kids. I only needed to get one. I was like, dude, I knew your dad. I'm going to beat you and call him. Man, I have a problem with them kids at all.
Oh gosh. Hey, at the end of the day, like, you know, a sense of authority and a sense of command. And at the end of the day, a lot of these kids need to, you know, have a little bit of fear into them so that they don't act out. And at the end of the day, when you are under a good set of discipline, you don't even follow people that actually do this sort of stuff in the first place, right? And when you see it once and you have the conversation with mom and dad and so forth, you really take a restraint and you say, you know what, mom and dad are serious. I don't even want it to escalate to something like this to where I'm actually going to listen. But you got kids these days now that are following the crowd, man. We talk about your thought process on this whole social media and TikTok, man, like how it's influencing people to do all this crazy stuff and really not focus on the things that are more important. What's your point on that, PBO?
Yeah, I'm really trying to dig and understand that, man, because like you said, there's the force of TikTok, like you said, Facebook garbage, but kids look at that and it's a role model. Like one of my godsons called me, he was very upset because they were teasing him because he had a Jordan. So they took a picture of his shoes and put it on Instagram and teasing him. Me being old, I'm like, just cut off Instagram. But you know, it was Philly hurt him. So I just went out and bought him some shoes. I'm like, I'm gonna get you 3 pair, put all your 3 pair on Instagram. But for me, I could understand, like, it was peer pressure was different because you just got it at school. Now you getting it 24/7. You got the videos, people taking them, y'all on TikTok, y'all on Instagram. Hell, I'm barely Snapchat. Hell, I'm barely on Twitter. So you got all these things that are attacking people. So, you know, for the mindset, I can see now it's just not like when you in school, it's like 24/7.
Yes. That's the biggest concern that I have around this, Professor Black Ops, is, you know, kids these days, they don't have a relief, right? Like you just mentioned, at one point in time, and I mentioned this earlier, when I went to school, if there was anything that was going to happen in school, whether, you know, I got into some sort of altercation or I was being bullied or something like that, or I tripped up and embarrassed myself, or I tried to do the Michael Jackson, you know, moonwalker and people were laughing at me because I was stiff or something like that, right? Like, you can get away from it after school. Now it's 24/7, it's Instagram, and people always want to prove a point these days, especially on social media, because that level of visibility for a lot of people is clout. And it means that you are somebody. So it ends up being like the bad stuff gets pushed to the forefront as something that people need to do in order for them to be recognized, to be a celebrity. And that's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah, because I guess it was the study and it came out on the whistleblower for Facebook that young girls under 10 look at their body on Instagram, you know, they just showing that. Then you got the grown ladies squatting and buying booties. So all that, you know, that technology, now you comparing yourself to all of that. You know, I guess when I was skinny, if dudes were just flexing on Instagram 24/7, you know, so, you know, like you said, so now you just comparing yourself and, you know, it's 24/7.
Yeah, it is.
There's no relief on that.
It is absolutely. Shout out to JT Coin Rings. I appreciate you so much for this super chat, man. Thank you so much. He says, good morning, Black Heights, and wonderful chat, man. What else you got? You got anything else to add to the conversation, Professor Black Ops, man? What you got for us, brother?
Oh, yeah, real quick on the Google Cloud, I do a little security. They actually maturing. They're actually getting better. I was doing some federal work trying to get it to go on the Google Cloud. Mm-hmm. They were struggling about 3 or 4 years ago, but even back then they were like, we're going to put 100 guys on this because we want to be able to do federal work, and so they're really serious about that. So I ain't gonna say it's interesting. They're doing it for their business. So getting people trained up, getting that money, especially for developers. If you're already in there and you got some skills, you just adding on to your skill bank. And 2 is, like you say, I do a lot of AWS. They are pretty same. A lot of stuff they just call it different, and there's a little couple different how they do it, but you know they all kind of based on the same skill set. Like I said, they were struggling with some of the federal compliances for encryption and stuff, but they were working on it back then. So obviously, if the base is 160, whatever, 66 or 61, you know, they making it happen. So and I think one reason is high is everybody's going to AWS or Azure, so it's really hard to get top-notch architects. They like, exactly it. I want to go with the two big dogs. I don't want to go with you, number 3 little dog. So
that's exactly what it is, PBO. And you got to think about it. So Google, they're so much further behind, right? Like you mentioned, like years ago, right? They were, they were having a tough time getting to the federal area, like we were talking about, having to put an army onto certain kind of projects. Right now, they're probably scaling up to that point where they don't have some of those same challenges. But again, they're so far behind to where they have to incentivize people to say, you know what, now, in order for me to be able to keep up and grow this thing, I have to have people wanting to make the jump into the Google Cloud architecture and so forth. So what do we have to do? We have to pay them more. That's the only incentive for you to go from Microsoft or to from Amazon to go to Google is you have to have an incentive. And a lot of that is driven by how much money you're going to make and other perks and stuff like that of being part of Google. So yeah, of course, that's why you see those salaries being so high, man. You're absolutely right, brother.
Yeah, because I was talking about that in my class, and I'm like, where's this side? I'm like, oh, they're trying to get people in there, because like you said, I was going over those salaries in my class, and I was surprised. I'm like, where's the entry level? But when I thought about it, like, oh, that's trying to get people in, and right. The people that do have government work, there's hardly any architects to help them do that work to keep it. So
yeah. Well, I tell you one thing, that's 40 million people that they're looking to bring in, or at least to hire, or not to hire, sorry, to certify, so that they have a large bench. So that means that they're looking to grow their cloud. Now, that's a big message to say, you know what, Amazon, Microsoft, we're coming for you. Like, we're coming for you. That's a move that's saying, you know what, we're looking to become that dominant players. And guys, I say this for you all watching this, right? If you are in college, and if you are in a position where you're not happy with, or if you want to improve your skills, right? Continue to transform yourself and to do something else. This is an opportunity for you. This is a huge opportunity for you. You hear Professor Black Ops talking about how he does AWS, and he's looking into Google as well too. That's how you transform. I mean, he's been in the game for 30 years. He's transformed himself multiple times, dozens of times, every single year, right? So that's the transformation component that we were talking about earlier on as well too, man. What else you got to say, Professor Black Ops?
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. Yeah, but like we talked about, even at 53, I gotta get on the next wave, get the next bag, and for me, that's cloud security. So sure. I'm studying for my AWS associate architect. I hope to pass that in the next 6 months. And combine that with my security skills, so I can get the big bag. So that's my goals. Even at 53, you gotta have goals. Like my man said in there, professional development never stops. So everybody come check out Black Heights. He giving you those gems to pick and choose. Oh, and shout out to Engineering Cannabis. That's true. I was doing a federal HIPAA and IRS check on Google. It's called FIPS 140-3. It means you take your encryption and you got to send it to the government so it'll pass. Right. Just because you say you're doing encryption, you got to program it. So you got to send it to the government and actually have them check and sign off. In Google, those Google guys think they were so smart. They were like, our encryption is better than the government. I go, that's true. But unless the government signs off on it, I can't put data on your machine. Your encryption can be better. But if the government doesn't say yes, you get no IRS data and you get no company money. So some of those Silicon Valley guys, my mom's favorite word, could be a little smug, smelling themselves. So I had to get on them. So serious, true story. I'm yelling at him again. Hey, guy come in. He goes, "Oh, we never thought about that." I'm like, dude, the government's got to certify it before you get federal information. I actually think your encryption is better, but until the government says yes, I can't technically put anything on there. I would be negligent for my client. They go, "Oh, we didn't think about that." I'm like, dude, y'all $1 billion company. Y'all didn't think of that.
It looked like they're trying to take some shortcuts, man.
No, to be honest, it was better, but they were just so smug. They didn't really understand how to get federal work. And remember, the Jedi money out there is $10 billion. Yeah, they're slicing that up among everybody. So they're trying to get that. I go, your encryption could be better, but if the government don't sign off, nobody gives a S. So y'all got to get it together. So shout out to the chat. Everybody subscribe. Shout out to my man Kev Tech showing me love. He's definitely everybody. Engineering Cannabis. Everybody have a great day.
I appreciate you, brother PBO. Guys, do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed to Professor Black Ops yet, go ahead and jump on this channel. I believe Miss Wade has already dropped the link into this chat. So go ahead. If you are into cybersecurity or just game in general, this is my big brother right here, always willing to come through and share his knowledge and have some fun and keep me on my toes. And
yeah, I had to get on. Y'all like, I gotta visit. He got the young brother sad about 100,000. I gotta go see my man, Mr. Black Heights today.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for coming through on this Saturday, my man.
All right, later, man.
All right, brother. That's big bro right there, man. You know what? That's what we do over here. We have fun. We enjoy ourselves. We talk about the topics at hand. Guys, call in. If you got something to say on here, call in to we got my other brother in here. Give me 1 second. Let me get him on. Brother Jabron, man, how are you doing this morning? Look at him, man, looking super fly on this Saturday morning, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Just trying to overcompensate for being 5'8", you know.
Oh, man. You're looking good, man. You're looking good. What's going on? What you got on the topic today, brother?
So my dad retired as a teacher, right?
Mm-hmm.
And around his retirement, a student attacked him.
Mm.
He said he was in the hallway, and this little boy slammed this little girl on her head in the hallway. So he went to break it up, see what's going on. And the student decided he wanted to attack my father. So that student bled for it,
Wow.
Wow. And my dad said, they know Mr. Jones, they don't know Frederick from North. Like these challenges are cool, but you don't know these people,
Yep.
And once your child, I think my dad was teaching like elementary school, and someone got a call and said someone attacked your dad. So I'm on my way down there, on my way to uptown. And so my wife said, well, you really gonna go to that school because some little boy attacked your dad? I said, listen, once you touch my parents, there is no sanctuary. Doesn't matter who you are. There's no sanctuary. Don't touch my parents. So I think most people aren't understanding that, and I guess me and Professor Black Ops came up in the same era or around the same era because, there's only so much you could take, It's just crazy that people nowadays would actually implement that.
Yep.
When I think back to my youth, I would never even think about it.
That's exactly it, Jabron, right? Like it just for some reason, when I grew up in that area as well, where you just respect adults, even if you were, I had no idea about if adults were good or bad. I kind of just respected it. And probably we gave adults the benefit of the doubt. And probably at this age, and at this age and day, a lot of us look at adults a lot of times like they're senile and old and all of this stuff. They don't have that much of respect that we used to have back in the day, right? If somebody told me to do something as an elder when I was growing up, I typically would follow suit and do it, right? And it was always something good. It would be in the best interest of you a lot of the times. And I just don't think with this group that's growing up now that they understand that. I don't get it.
I think it's societal and it's twofold. Like people don't like other people disciplining their children.
Yep.
So now you can't be raised by the village because your parents want to go hands on with anybody that corrects you. And then another part of that is everything is pretty much hands off. And that's one of the things I tell people all the time I loved about teaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? If I'm teaching you how to get out of a rear naked choke and you want to tell me about what some YouTube video showed you, you are more than welcome to try. I'm still going to choke. And then they're like, oh, maybe I should listen to you. Yeah, probably. You should probably do that. Like that's what I love about it. You get that real life, real world consequence and not just theory, right? Because we can go down this theory path all day, but I don't think people get that. Like,
well, that's what it is. It's applied, right? A lot of the things you're absolutely right about that, Jabron. Like a lot of people, and don't get me wrong, with the information that's out here, you can learn a lot. But at the end of the day, you can learn to be an entrepreneur. But at the end of the day, do you have experience being an entrepreneur? You can learn as much as you can about, building a $100 million business. But do you have the experience to build a $100 million business? That's just not the case. A lot of people don't. And that's where, a lot of people fall short at. I think we lost Brother Jabron. Let's see if he comes back. But guys, let me jump over to the chat while Brother Jabron is out here. He's in the middle of his, looks like Brother Jabron is getting his stuff in this. Oh, there he is. He's back. There he is. Oh, you're back, brother.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
Just a little bit of Wi-Fi. Where you at, man? It looks like you just strolling around in a beautiful fall day, man.
Yeah, we're down at the market. Family wanted to come down and get something to eat, so I decided to come down to the market. But I was listening in the whole time because, you know, you got to pick up, like, you guys inspire me to look for more,
Yep.
you know, like, and realize that I was comfortable. So it's like, yo, go get more. Stop playing. So I think I applied for like 4 different positions this week. I'm redoing my website for the business. Like, everything has to change because you got to realize when you're comfortable, but sometimes you need that spark, you know? And you see so many people out here doing so much. And it's like, you know, when you call, like, harkening back to earlier, when you call something chump change, it's like, I put it in the chat, like, that's motivating to me.
Yep. Because
it's like, you know, it don't matter if I was making $1 million. If someone calls it chump change, that just tells me that there's more out there, right? Like, I haven't reached the ceiling. So it just inspires me, man, to just keep pushing, keep going for more. I'm already trying to get the Google UX UI certification, and hopes that help with the web design and make me more profitable on that end. And then maybe I'll look into the cloud as well. Why not? Like, I need all the bags.
That's exactly it, Jabron. That's exactly it, man. And that's a growth mindset, right? And you're absolutely right. I mean, like, a lot of us do get comfortable in our areas, but if we want to get to the bag, right, we have to just change our mind and say, let's ask for more, let's do more, not just in the corporate world, but in your personal life as well too. I look back at, you know, I don't know if you guys remember, but I just revamped our entire Black Heights site, and I built it around coaching. Like 2 months ago, it was completely different. So I work with a UX developer and so forth to build it around the coaching aspect. It's always a transformation. It's always learning. What can I do better? What can I take from the content creators that I see that's doing wonderful stuff, and how can I apply that to that Black Heights? What can I learn from Brother Jabron that's doing some amazing stuff? Well, how can I apply that to Black Heights? How can I apply that to myself? And brother, I appreciate you becoming a patron. I can't wait to meet with you this week well too. And yeah, I mean, like, that's how we do it. That's how we grow. We have like-minded people doing big things, learning from each other, and that's the community that we're building here at Black Heights as well too.
Exactly. That's the community to be in. Like, everybody's pushing each other, elevating each other, sharing information. No one's stingy about it. There's more than enough money for everybody, and then that becomes infectious.
Yes,
and
sir.
then people, like, you know, it's in you, it ain't on you.
That's right.
And people attach to that. So I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate what you do, you and the wife. I really appreciate you guys because, you know, she gives you that time to do this.
Yes, sir.
You know, and you know, it's always a sacrifice, like you mentioned earlier. So I appreciate you, bro. I just wanted to tap in and let you know that, and I'll talk to you soon.
I appreciate you, Brother Jabron, man. You have a good rest of your day and that beautiful fall day. And you keep looking sharp, yes, brother. Sir. Make up for that 5'8",
yes,
man.
Sir. All right, bro. Peace.
All right, brother. Peace out, man. Bye. Guys, man, see, that's how we do it, guys. That is how we do it, man. Miss Wade, and I appreciate you more than you know it as well too. We got Brother Gabe in the house too with the super chat. I mean, make sure I get to that one as well. Let me get over here. Let me get that on the screen, Brother Gabe. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for coming in today. This is another one of our brothers out here that does a fantastic job in the cybersecurity space. Just wonderful, 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 wonderful brother here working for Accenture, doing some wonderful things in the cybersecurity space. Magnificent. Another married man who is doing some wonderful things, guys. And these are the group members that, you know, I surround myself with, and, you know, the big brothers, the young brothers who are doing some fantastic things. It's pretty amazing. Let's jump over to the chat. I want to go over here to see what I'm missing here. Oh, we got we got another one up here. My other brother out here, my brother Kev Tech IT Support. I've been talking so much to where I haven't been able to get to all the super chats, but I want to make sure I get there. Brother Kev Tech IT Support is in the house. Another one of my good brothers over here as well too. And Kev Tech, guys, if you guys don't know who Kev Tech is, you're about to know who he is. Give me 1 second. Let me put him up on the screen real fast. Let me make sure he's in here. I got to find his chat. Where is Mr. Kev Tech super chat at? That's the thing, man. This, here he is. Look at him looking sharp, man. Look at him looking sharp. Kev Tech IT Support. I love the new picture. Absolutely fantastic. You look like a boss right there. Kev Tech IT Support says, I appreciate you, Black Heights. Thanks for mentioning me in the other video. You are so welcome. And I appreciate you for being a person that just does wonderful things, man. Constantly updating your people on LinkedIn, constantly helping people with getting into IT. It's wonderful, Kev Tech IT support, man. Thank you so much for being a subscriber to this channel and being a good member of society and helping people out as well too. But guys, if you haven't subscribed to Brother Kev Tech IT support, go ahead and do so. Another wonderful content creator that's out here doing some fantastic things, helping people get into IT, sharing his stories. He shares personal stories from, losing weight, right, to waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning to just go out for runs. Very inspirational, right? Another good brother of ours who just makes us all better. Another inspirational person of ours who we can see that's getting it done, and we can emulate their behaviors. They can share their stories with us. We can listen to them. We can improve ourselves just by being associated with these people. So another good content creator here, guys, Kev Tech IT support, another fantastic content creator, as I mentioned, and another good brother of ours. Let's go through the chats real fast. I want to make sure that I'm getting to the people in here, and I'm not just hitting on the super chats right now. But let's do that. Let's go back up here. Black Tech Ohead says, if you're in tech and have people skills, the sky is the limit. Being able to translate tech language to business leaders is an invaluable skill. You are absolutely right, Black Tech Ohead. Professor Black Ops says, Black Tech Ohead, language is to business leader is the truth. Absolutely. That is absolutely right. Jamarly Cohen says, that Google Cloud cert has me rethinking the analytics one. Hey, man, the cool thing about this, Jamarly, is that you can do both. You can do the analytics side. And you got to remember that article did talk about the analytics side as well. It talked about the cloud. It talked about the analytics, right? So these are all certifications that you can get to be part of Google and their big push. It didn't just say cloud specifically. It said all the areas of Google that they're going to be needing people to help out in. So Google Analytics, Google Cloud, all of those are absolutely fantastic, man. Mr. Nick says, get them both. And same thing that I just said. They both can pay. I have 4 Azure certifications and 2 currently paying me in different ways. Look at that. Boss move, Mr. Nicks. Boss move, Mr. Nicks. That is what I'm talking about. Damn! Jabron said, PPO is consistent, no switch. That's my brother right there, man. Engineering Candyman says, Google Cloud trying to compete with AWS and Oracle. You're absolutely right. That's exactly what it is. Helmet says, peace chat. Anthony Arrington, Oracle is terrible. Yeah, Oracle is gaining business into their private business, man, and they haven't hit the big time at all yet. It's typically the big players, AWS number 1, Microsoft Azure coming in a second, close second, and then Google, right? But yeah, Oracle was out there as well. And don't get me wrong, Oracle will be making a push as well too. And they have the money to do so. Let's get back to the chats over here. Shout out to Professor Black Ops, Kev Tech says. Okay, let's go in here to make sure I'm not missing anything. Teresa Ray, you're so amazing. Thank you so much for putting the link for Kev Tech IT support in here. Jamil, hello family, new to this from Toronto. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you. I make sure I'm gonna say that the right way. Jameo, that is fantastic. Thank you so much. That's a wonderful name, by the way. And I tell you just like this, I butcher everybody's name, so don't feel bad if I butchered it. I'll get you on one of these times where I can actually have you help me and teach me how to pronounce that. But fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on this morning coffee talk and so forth. Terrible Gamer says, will the cloud make network engineering a thing of the past? No, never. Don't think that cloud is going to make network engineering a thing of the past. The thing about becoming a network engineer is that you're going to gain, cloud experience as well too. And their companies are always going to need to know and have a network, and it has to go to somewhere to store it. And your responsibility for making sure that it gets to the cloud and learn about the cloud and stuff like that. I do see the network engineering role transitioning more into a cloud architect role. Matter of fact, that's the next level, I believe, becoming a network architect, which is somewhat part of a cloud architect as well too. So no, I don't think it's going to make it a thing of the past. I think there's going to be an opportunity for you to learn the network side as well as the cloud side, and just going to the roles are going to become more similar in the future. That's at least my opinion right there. Before the Billions is in the house, man. My other brother, Before the Billions is in the house. Another fantastic content creator, guys. If you guys haven't gotten to Before the Billions, brand new. He started his channel maybe about, I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago. But a fantastic content creator. I thought Before the Beans was a data analyst, but he's actually a data engineer. Let me get that right. He's a data engineer. Another person that's in the IT space, talks about the soft skills, which are very important, talks about how to get certain roles, talks about getting to the money. He got mad at me too for saying $80,000 was chump change. Before the Beans, I cleared that up with PBO. It's not chump change. It's a fantastic salary. When you get to that 160, when you get to that 200, you're going to look back at it and say, man, like that was, that was a good point in my career. It was a good point in my career. I appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed to Before the Billions, jump over to his channel. You're going to learn a lot. I learned a lot. I listened in to a lot of his shows. He's actually going to have one coming up at 11 a.m. this morning. And guys, go over there to support him. Go over to support him. You got to get his watch time up so that we can get him on the super chats and so forth. That's another one. Him and PBO. When you guys see these guys live, when you subscribe to them, make sure you hit that notification bell as well too. Got to get the watch chats on or the watch time up so that we can get them monetized, so that they can we can send them super chats and so forth. But another fantastic content creator that's out here teaching the IT space, teaching what he knows, teaching the life skills, all the things that he shares on his platform. Let me go over here as well too. Gay Base is chatting in here. Kev Tech, that's how it should be. Yeah, guys, it looks like we had quite a bit of stories today. It looks like we had quite a bit of stories today, and I appreciate you guys all for jumping on this live stream this morning, helping out, getting the game, having some fun. Guys, we talked about the TikTok challenges and the Slap a Teacher challenge that's going on in October. If you are a parent and you got kids that are in middle school, high school, make sure that they aren't hanging around the people who are interested into this Slap a Teacher challenge. It's garbage. It's 100% garbage. If they're interested in that sort of stuff or doing this sort of stuff, it's going to set their future up to be terrible. They're hanging around the wrong people. They're being influenced by the wrong people. They're in the wrong things. We talked about Google Cloud, how they are looking to train 40 million people into the Google Cloud areas, from analytics to the cloud and so forth. That is an opportunity for you guys, because the base salary for a Google Cloud architect is $160,000 per year. And guys, that's a lot of money. That is absolutely a lot of money. We got Before the Billions coming in too. So let me 1 second Before the Billions, and I'm gonna bring you in as well too. And we also talked about LinkedIn, the 5 pillars that you need in order for you, and you really should look at it from a lifestyle perspective as well too, because it's important. These are things like collaboration, teamwork, being results oriented, being a person that has integrity, and so forth. These are fantastic pillars that you should adopt in your everyday life. And transformation was another one that you should adopt in everyday life to be better, to do better. And when we surround ourselves with people like Before the Beans, Brother Jabron, Professor Black Ops, Kev Tech IT support, Brother Gabe, that's how we grow. That's how we learn. That's how we transform. That's how we learn information. I had no idea about cybersecurity before having Professor Black Ops coming on this channel. I had no idea about the way how Google goes about its hiring practices and how many people apply to a typical job. Then I learned that when I had Brother Chang came onto the channel to talk about Google and their hiring practices and stuff like that. Let's jump over to Before the Billions, man. Let's jump over to Before the Billions. We pick each other up, Kev Texas. We pick each other up, and we pick each other up and learn from each other. That is how we do it. That's how we do it. Before the Billions, man. How you doing, brother?
Well, how are you doing, sir?
I am doing fantastic, man. You looking sharp, man. Where you headed this morning, man?
I'm about to do a live stream in a little while, so I'm trying to look my best, right?
What you got on the topic this morning, my man? What you got on the topic, man?
Right. So I was seeing you talking about like LinkedIn hiring and also, the TikTok challenge.
Yes, sir.
And then something that you said earlier was, when you were younger, you kind of just looked up to, your elders.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly how it was for me. I just, even if it was something like I didn't necessarily want to do, such as like, oh, you need to go ahead and floss or something, something like that.
Yep.
I just thought, okay, let me go ahead and follow what they say, because just like how you said, most of the time it's going to be in your best interest, within reason, right?
Right.
And yeah, I think that these TikTok challenges really do, ruin people's lives sometimes when you I know you had the slap a teacher challenge, but then you also have stuff like where people light themselves on fire or go up and scream in people's ear at the grocery store, all kinds of stuff. And
all that foolishness. It's a bunch of foolishness, man.
Yeah, neither is it funny. It's not even funny. So it's like, why even do something? Do something like that that's putting yourself at danger.
Yep.
And you just put yourself in danger for no reason.
That's true. That's true. Like the thing is, we have no idea how people are. I just, back in the day, right, when we were growing up, before the beans. How old are you, by the way?
I'm 26.
Okay, so you're younger than I am. You're a lot younger than I am, but you still you must have grew up. I'm 37, so I got you by I got you by a good 10 years. But I think you can definitely tell people who grow up kind of with the same sort of like mannerisms and so forth, around the same sort of influences. Like growing up for me, like I mentioned, was you respect the elders. My grandma was one of those type of people that says, you know what, she helped the community to where there was another lady that was across the street who her kids had already left, and she lived there by herself. Her name was Miss Mina. And she'd be like, you know what? Miss Mina need a yard rake. AJ, go over there and rake a yard, right? And I would just have to go and rake the yard. As much as I didn't want to do it, I couldn't say no, right? Miss Mina would probably pay me like $1, right? But at the end of the day, it was a sense of community, making sure you take care of each other and stuff like that. Going on to this point here, today, you have no idea what people are capable of. Right? Before, I was like, okay, people were capable of stupid stuff, but now you see people are more capable of a lot. And here's the thing that's influencing people now is being able to see people do some ugly stuff. So where they try to one up it every single time. And going over to somebody that you don't even know and screaming in somebody's ear or slapping a teacher, just like Jabron said, man, like, that his father, that kid that hit him, laid hands on him, probably won't ever lay hands on anybody else. And at the end of the day, those are results that happens from poor parenting. If you're going to literally have your child, if your child has the audacity to go out there, and hit an adult, like, what is that saying about you as a parent? What is that saying? It's insane. It's insane, man. I get that. I don't get it before the beans. I don't get it at all. And I think this has a lot to do with just parenting in general and people being parents when they shouldn't really be parents. And it's easy to be parents these days versus it being very difficult. And that's just my point of view on it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And when people grow up without their dad, like I actually watched this video. It was on YouTube, and it's a guy by the name of Sir Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
And he's somebody who's a waver, somebody who takes care of his hair and brushes his hair all the time and stuff like that. And he went on this live stream, and then some kid jumped on. He was like 16 years old, and he just was calling them names and telling them to do certain acts. And and then Sir Cruz was like, "Hey man, he's like in his 30s or 40s. He's like, man, you don't never talk to a man like that."
Mm.
And then that's something that your dad should have, did your dad know that you're speaking to another man like this?
Right.
And then the little kid, he ain't a little kid, he's a teenager, but he was just like, he just didn't get it, right? He's like, oh, it doesn't matter, you take things too seriously. And then, he's like, no, I'm not taking things too seriously, because if your dad knew that you were saying this to another man who's older than you, then he would be ashamed. Like he was like, "Oh no, that's not my son."
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, they just he ended up kind of just teaching him a lesson. Like even though you may not think it's serious now, but I'm planting the seed in you to where if when you get older, you're gonna look back like, man, what was I doing?
Right. And here's the thing too, before they're being or something like that, if they're doing it to a 30-something-year-old man, just imagine they're bullying some other kid that is probably even younger or probably their same age. And that's the part of it that really, as a parent, that I'm just so like, I don't want my kids to be around people like that, to be quite honest with you, man. That's why I'm like, okay, well, you need to make as much money as possible so you can separate yourself for your kids don't have to go through that. Like, so, because what you find out is these are the kind of kids that are in the public school systems a lot of time, and you can't deal with them. And these are the kind of kids that don't mind doing a slap a teacher challenge. If they're going to talk to an adult who's 35 years old at 16, saying all sorts of weird stuff that you just don't even know, like, you're capable of just about anything in physical with somebody, let alone you're talking to somebody at the 35 years old, somebody so much older than you. Just imagine being around somebody your own age and what you will say to these kind of people. I don't want my kids to be associated with people like that, which is the reason why I always talk about getting the money, separating myself, making sure that my kids have an opportunity to be focused on the things that are more important instead of dealing with some other parents' child because they chose not to parent the correct way. Right? These are things that I completely believe in, which is I'm teaching a lot of folks here. Get the money. Get the money because it's really going to impact how you grow up, how you bring your kids up, how you are able to live, how you're going to be impacted, right? Just imagine having a young son, you're in public school and you're doing your job, and all of a sudden your son gets beats up one day because some other child is a bully. Like, you don't want to have to deal with that. You really don't want to have to deal with that. So yeah, I hear that. It's terrible, man. It's absolutely terrible, and which is one of the reasons why I always told my wife, I'm like, you know what? If we can be responsible for the influence of our kids' education in somewhat of a small controlled group. I like to have control over it as much as possible. So we do co-ops and, small private institutions and things like that, to where we have a lot of influence on the teachers that's being hired, on the, the curriculum and so forth, right? Not having to deal with books that shouldn't be read and books that have all kind of crazy stuff in it. We don't have to worry about that. Is how I'm trying to influence education for my kids. But yeah, it's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. It can be pretty bad as well.
Yeah, I agree. And actually, it got to the point where they have something called a devious lick. It's another trend on TikTok where they quite literally just steal things. Things that you wouldn't even imagine being stolen, like the bathroom sinks, toilets, the stalls, all kinds of stuff that they steal in a lot of these high schools now. And they just have it as a TikTok trend where people have gotten actual time for stealing stuff because, some people will be like 17 or something like that. And then in Georgia, you're considered an adult or can be tried as an adult. And, some of them have actually gotten some jail time for stealing, a lot of different things. And it's to no benefit. It's like, why would you want to steal somebody's pants off their legs or steal like the urinal, right? Just a whole bunch of this craziness.
It's just I don't get that either. Before the beans, I'm laughing. The reason why I laugh is because I think I'm laughing because how stupid it is, and I don't understand, like, why would somebody want to do something like that? I just don't get it, right? It's like, why would you want to go and steal a urinal? What you don't even have a house to put a urinal in the first place, so you want to go do it. And if you think about it, before the beans, they're doing it because they're status seeking. That's the only way you would do something like that. You are status seeking, trying to gain some sort of status by your peers or other people that you are able to influence, or are able to influence you. What ends up happening a lot of time is these are the same people that get in trouble later on in life. I don't get it. I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it, brother. Insane. We got Mr. E said this: we got to find a way to mentor the younger generations to do better. What's your thoughts on that? Before the beans.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I mean, like I'm doing it to where I mentor my little brother and also my cousin, and I just kind of tell them like, hey, you know what, this is what it's like as as an adult because they're my little brother, he's 17, about to turn 18, and then my little cousin, he's 19.
Yeah.
And I'm telling them like, hey, you know what? If even if you don't go like the traditional getting your bachelor's degree, at least like you're working and make sure that you're making steps towards, hey, you might be able to get a certification in something, something in the STEM career, something that is going to help you out in the future, like maybe even just going to like a community college for like
Mm-hmm.
2 years and transferring.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people think like, oh, it's so much money to get into college, and then some people get into college and then get some major like art history, and then they expect to be making a whole bunch of money. I just don't understand. So I tell them like, hey, you know what? That's actually another reason why I started my channel is not necessarily just only for mentoring, but it's just to help people. I'm trying to help people. Like I build a resume on my channel. That way people can know how to build a resume. I told everybody like how to get recruiters to call you. And then it kind of helps you with like, hey, you can't use that excuse of I don't know how to do a resume. I don't have enough time for it. I don't, like I don't know what to do in order to, get another job or what jobs to look for or what career path to go into when you get out of high school. So, I just kind of lead by example, really.
That's right. And here's the thing too, before the beans, which is the reason why I love your content. That's a reason why I love your content. So Mr. E, you're surprising, well, not surprising, because our minds, that's the thing. You really have to train your mind to see good. If you train your mind to see good, you're going to see good. You're going to find people like Before the Beans. You're going to find the people like Professor Black Ops. You're going to find the people like Brother Jabron. You're going to find the people like Kev Tech IT Support. You're going to find brothers like Gabe A. But you have to train your mind to see the good. If you are really looking for the crap that's out there, your mind is only going to show that that's all you're going to see. That's all you're ever going to talk about. There are so many people, believe it or not, there are so many people that are on YouTube who are given this game. From people who are entrepreneurs that look like us, from people who don't look like us, from people who are the same religion, not the same religion. It's all out there. You just have to look for it. So you're absolutely right, Mr. E. We got to find a way to mentor the younger generations. We are. That's the good thing about it is we are. Now the exposure for them, they have to be willing to look for it. And that's the parenting thing. And I think that's what it is. A lot of us as parents, we need to start pointing our kids into the direction of people like us. If you're young, if you're a parent, you got a kid that's 30 years old, if you got a kid that's in the 15 years old, all you got to do is send them to one of our channels, right? Listen to this guy. Ask him questions. Join a chat on a Saturday morning while you're just sitting in bed versus watching TikTok videos. All that stuff, it influenced them, it encouraged them to join little social groups like this and communities like this, and they'll start to see more. And not only that, we have to train ourselves to see more, because at one point in time, I thought there wasn't a lot of people like this that exist out there, but there actually is. And my mind started to see it. And now I'm like, okay, well, these are the type of people that I run with. These are my brothers and sisters out here. So I appreciate that, Mr. E. Mr. First Gen Corporate says private school is, you're absolutely right. My wife grew up in a private school, which is another reason why I want to have a lot more control. Public schools are terrible. Private schools can be terrible, but private schools at least give you the ability to refrain from a lot of the extra stuff that goes in the public schools. But the way how I'm looking at it is I want my kids to be in co-ops, right? In private academies where I really have the influence of the people who own the school as much as possible, meaning that I donate. And when you donate, it's kind of no different than you being a person that is a corporate sponsor in the government. You get things that's going to be in your benefit when you apply a certain amount of money to it. And if you want the curriculum to be math with Calculus 4 and you donate enough money, well, guess what? That curriculum is going to have math with Calculus 4 on it. That's how the world works, guys. That's how you influence people. That's how you make big time moves for the benefit of you and your family and your kids. So you're absolutely right. Private school does have issues as well too, man. You did you grow up in a private school before the Beans?
No, I actually went to public school, and I will tell you, I had went through a difficult time.
Yeah.
To the where I've been robbed before, and attacked, all kinds of stuff. And I grew up with just my mom, and I had my dad in my life, but I live with my mom primarily, and it's just one of those lessons like that I've learned, going through life is like, hey, I don't want, my kids had to go through the same thing where, just because, you wear glasses or just because you study, it doesn't mean that, oh, now you need to get attacked and stuff like that.
Mm.
Because we should be promoting people who study for the classes or trying to get ahead in life. But yeah,
agree.
that's exactly kind of what goes on in a lot of these public schools.
Yeah, it's backwards. It's backwards. I grew up like that too before the Beans, and that's why I had a tough time in my sophomore year of high school. I wanted to be the cool guy because the cool guy was not the person that studied. Whereas in a lot of other cultures that I've gotten exposure to, cool guy is the guy who studies, right? And yeah, it's just what it is. Man, I appreciate you. I know you got a show coming up. I didn't want to keep you too long. I want to make sure you got enough time. Anything else you got for us, brother?
No, I just want to tell you that I appreciate you. Appreciate you for always supporting. And also, I'm doing a interview with Professor Black Ops tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
So I got to follow up with him and get everything set up. But it's going to be coming out 12 noon Eastern time. Eastern Standard Time. So
guys, if you haven't had a chance to subscribe to Before the Beans yet, go ahead and make sure you subscribe to him. Jump over to his live stream tomorrow. And so is it going to be live at noon Eastern time tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central?
Yeah. Yes, sir. It is.
I'll be on it. I'll be on it. Donate some cash app.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, brother. Before the Beans, man. Thank you so much. You enjoy your the rest of your Saturday, man. And thank you so much for tuning in today, man.
All right, thank you.
All right, brother. See, another good brother out here doing some fantastic things, guys. That's it. We're out here. At the end of the day, we're out here. We're doing it. We're doing it. You just have to open your eyes up to see it. And when I opened my eye up to see it some years ago, I saw it. And I was like, you know what? Like, it's you have to find the circles that people run into. And there's more and more people like this that exist. And we are the norm, to be honest with you. What is produced from a content standpoint, what sells is not the stuff that sells. But at the end of the day, I'm not going towards the stuff that sells. I want to go towards the stuff that I can make an impact on and add my little bit of salt and my little bit of 2 cents to it to help people grow, to help people get to the bag, to help people advance in their careers, to help people take care of their families and so forth. So that's what the content is like on this channel, mentorship, coaching, and so forth. But guys, thank you so much for rocking with me today, man. I appreciate you guys for joining the Saturday morning coffee talk. All the good people that we have out here supporting us. I appreciate you guys so much. I have fun. I say this all the time, guys. I have fun. I love doing this stuff. It's a passion of mine. My wife supports me. You see her in the chat, just throwing out stuff. And my sisters aren't in the chat today because they are on their way to Minneapolis, Minnesota for a church trip. But thank you so much, Teresa, for always supporting me, allowing me to do the things that I can do to be an influence, not only to our kids, but also to the people, the Black Heights members and so forth. I appreciate you. You have no idea how much your support matters as well, too, Ms. Wade. But I appreciate you guys as well, too. I appreciate you, your Patreon members. Thank you so much. We're building our Patreon out, guys, for a limited time. The premium memberships, you're going to get access to me. And when we get this thing built out, which will be completed within the next 2 to 3 months, you're not going to have that access. So, and that level of membership is probably going to go up as we continue to grow this thing. But thank you so much, my patrons, for joining the network and the BH community. Thank you so much for all of my professional brothers and sisters out here for supporting me and in the content that we produce. Guys, it's Saturday. It's 10:50. What do you guys got up for the rest of the day? Hope you guys have gained some knowledge this morning, had some fun. I hope you have had some laughs, learned a lot, because that's what we do. We're transforming each other. We're growing. We're rocking it. And guys, let me see if anything else is on the chat. Let me see if anything else is on the chat. Brother Jabron, I appreciate you, brother. And I don't think there's anything else. There's nobody else that came on. I think this was a productive show. What do you guys think? Yes, I already know. But, and until next time, y'all, you know how we do it. You know how we do it. Peace. Enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care of your family. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. And peace out, guys. Appreciate you, brother Nix. I appreciate you, sir. My brother Jabron, I appreciate you, man. Brother Anthony, I appreciate you as well. Mr. E, thank you so much for joining. First Gen Corporate, I appreciate you. My brother Venator was in the house too. Kev, IT support, I appreciate you too. Miss Wade, I'm gonna call you in a second. I love you, baby. Brother Gay, appreciate you, sir. Jamarley, thanks for joining us today. Mr. Nix came through, the sponsor of today's show. I'm trying to get the millions like Mr. Nix, man. That cloud money. Helmet Chili Gaming. Jimmy-O, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for joining. Engineering Cannabis, the man right there, man. JT Corn Rings, I appreciate you, sir. Ashton. Gotta get that Aston Martin, man. Nope, won't do it. That's rental property money right there. Vince I Am is in the house. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for joining today. Josh Kimmy, thank you so much for joining us. Tyrese. NC Worker was in the house. Dr. Dix was in the house. Jamarley said he's at work. Get that work done, my man. I appreciate you, man.